Hey everybody, Pejman Ghadimi here. Now, you might have seen me on various YouTube channels talking about exotic cars or watches, right? And here we are in my garage with just some of my exotic cars, everything from my P1 here, valued at just under $2 million, to my Senna, Rolls-Royce, one of one STO, and so many other collectible, incredible cars. But one of the biggest things that has come up in my life over the last couple of years, outside of surviving a war, surviving cancer, and the thousands of business failures that I've had along the way, one key thing was what got me here in this place where money doesn't matter. I can write $1 million checks, and more importantly, regardless that I'm wearing a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 watch on my wrist, it just doesn't matter, right? Now, we all work really hard to get to a place where we can take care of our families and, of course, get the things and buy the things we want, right? That's just conventionally how most people think. In general, when we don't have much, we think about how much we could help others with money, but then as we learn how money truly works, we realize that we have to learn to be selfish a little bit and make it first and understand how to invest it and make it grow, and then any excess money, of course, can be used to help others as well as our own family members, etc. And it's very important to do that, because if you're the type of person that goes out and wants to help everybody, you eventually realize you're the only one left behind without any help of your own, right? Now, today I'm not here to talk to you on my channel about cars, investing in cars, or even watches, or how to make money. But instead, I want to tell you about the one thing that I did in my life that enabled me to literally get here to this place where I'm able to do this video and actually share my success with you. So the one thing I did actually had nothing to do with an investment, or I didn't get in real estate. It wasn't a real estate love story or some kind of crazy story about investing in watches that made me rich. It was rather one key word that a lot of entrepreneurs today aren't paying attention to. And that word is consistency. I consistently focused on one craft until I got really good for it and said no to everything else. Now, I know it's gonna sound really weird because it sounds almost too simple in a way, almost like it's way too simple, something else should be happening here. And reality is, it isn't. Nothing else is happening. It's that simple, except that it's just not easy. So what does consistency mean? And if you actually pay attention to my tags, I have a tag that's like not lazy. I have another one that says no degree, because obviously I'm the byproduct of my own creation, not of the circumstance of the environment I grew up with. But when we think about what it means to be consistent and not lazy, we typically think, well, I have to continuously work a lot of hours, and that's how I get rich. I mean, ideally, when I was young, I used to think, hey, if I make $12 an hour and I want a $500K car, $200K car, I was calculating how many hours do I have to work, or how much money per hour do I have to make to do that. And the one thing that I wasn't paying attention to was the multiplier effect of the knowledge and consistency put together. Meaning, the longer you're in an industry, the better you do at it, the more it has multipliers that keep giving itself. Let me give you a very simple example. If you're in watch sales, or if you're in car sales, or if you're in any type of role where you sell a product, this is just to make you understand the multiplier. You start your career with no clients and nothing. So you start to say, hey, I'm purchasing my time by saying, hey, my time here is spent getting a client, and I've earned a commission for that job. If I can earn 10 commissions, I'll make 10 times the amount of money. What you do is you do all the work for every and each client you acquire in your portfolio. What you don't necessarily do is then worry about the fact that you will start to look at your life as to, if I get X amount of clients, I get X amount of money. But what you fail to understand is that there is a recurring theme to doing good business and being good at what you do. People come back, right? So then a year later, you're ready to, again, that month, get 20 clients and make your 100K. But in reality, what happens is now 6 of your clients didn't come from your efforts anymore. They came instead from your past work and your past knowledge, and more importantly, your expertise in the role. You did well before, they came back for round 2. This is the multiplier effect people I'm talking about, and here's why it matters. Because the majority of entrepreneurs, when they hit that multiplier, they go, I did 20 sales this month. Great, I made X amount of money. Now, this next month, 6 of my sales came back as recurring clients. I was really blessed, I did a good job, and I got this money without having an effort. But what they fail to do, and this is where they make the biggest mistake of their entrepreneurial careers, is they give up acquiring those 20 clients because 6 of them became easy. So they go, since 6 are here and I only needed 20 to make my money, now I only need 14 new clients. But here's what's happening. the multipliers are going down because with 14 more clients, you don't have an extra 6 next year out of that pool, right? And as your expertise grows, you're basically milking your pipeline down instead of helping yourself grow. So one of the greatest and most powerful pieces of advice I can give you if you're an entrepreneur or if you're in business is to not get lazy once you hit the multipliers, meaning once recurring business starts to occur, are you still working equally hard on acquiring new business? And more importantly, are you actually paying attention to your advancement of knowledge in the field? If you're not, then you are therefore setting yourself up for a decline years later. Because remember how you got there to begin with. You got there by creating an incline of output, right? Then you put all of this energy and work into the universe, and then you started receiving and tapping into a larger energy source, right? However, at some point when you did that, your output started to go down because the ease and comfort started to come in. So what happened is your future output was therefore impacted by being 30% less than your previous output that got you there to begin with. And so the only way a person can go from a place where they're counting how much they're earning per hour like I was, to a place where literally money is chasing them to pay them by the hour, increasing their work by the hour without doing any work, is by their ability to control their output despite the input that's coming in, even past their effort. So input comes in, are you having someone in your company hired to basically match that additional input while you can still do the output, or vice versa, but never letting go of the intensity of the output to begin with, which led you to receiving this new input. So if I had learned anything in my life, is that I've always focused on this consistency of output and input and ensuring I was always there to meet the new input, but never let my foot off the gas for 20 years in a row, which is what got me here. And now a lot of people may know me for cars, watches, banking, or all of the things I've done and say, hey, this guy's a jack of all trades, which is not true. If you actually look at the underlying journey I've had in the entire game of entrepreneurship, it has always been twofold. It's a question of investments and money, or it's a question of teachings. Those are the only two things I've ever done in my life, but the form in which I teach, the things of which I teach, and of course the types of investments I make may have changed. And so what people don't understand is that they focus so much on, are you a car investor for 30 years or are you a real estate investor? And reality is, if you're an investor, you're always becoming a better investor. And if you're a teacher, you're always becoming a better teacher. So the question is, can you commit to the trade, not just the item, not the what, but the why, right? And so that's the second piece of advice I'll give you here that will take you to the top, is can you consistently deliver 20 years of a similar why without actually changing your why, but rather changing the how and the what to adapt quickly. And if you combine these two things together, your input-output production and your why, and adapt on your how and your what, you will get here too. Because I started with absolutely nothing, living in a basement with a single mother, literally escaping a war and bankruptcy, and therefore it got me into this place, right? In a place where there is not only an incredible car collection behind me, right? And we're not even going to count how much money, but it's like crazy. But on top of that, it got me to a place where I no longer have to count my money and rather can spend my life building the experiences I want to build rather than worrying about what they'll cost. So if you too want to get here, want to understand how to do this, this is why I encourage you to read my books, Third Circle Theory, Gate of Choice, or Radius, and understand your own level of self-awareness, where you are in the cycle, and how far can you get. So click those, read them, etc. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll catch you next time.